Hello everybody. So this video is entitled MSTR stock just wow 17,994 Bitcoin were bought last week. That's incredible. That's $1.3 billion worth of capital permanently added to that balance sheet. Yesterday, of course, I said, thanks to the help of Stretch.live, that's the source, Stretch.live, I said yesterday he did 300 million on Stretch and 900 million on MSTR. That was my prediction. Well, turned out I've never gotten so close on the MSTR ATM. He actually did 899 million worth of MSTR ATM, about 3 times as much, a little less than 3 times as much as a Stretch ATM, which is roughly the ratio I would like to see him keep. Because if we are going to have long run a BTC rating of 3-ish on Stretch, that means whenever you issue $100 of Stretch, you have to issue $300 of MSTR. I like that ratio quite a bit. But actually, he outperformed Stretch compared to Stretch.live. He raised 377 million worth of Stretch. So Stretch.live will get better over time and adjust over time. But interesting how Stretch.live is actually very conservative. Good to know for next week. Stretch.live is very conservative, right? So that's very impressive. 377 million of dollars of raised with the Stretch ATM. And MSTR ATM, of course, the long-standing ATM, my favorite ATM, 889 million. Note how he's not doing Strife, he's not doing Strike, he's not doing Stride anymore. My guess is that he's not going to do much of those going forward. Definitely not going to do Strike. Strike is too good of a deal. There's a perpetual stock option embedded within Strike, which is what I've said before. At least Strike is the one I see least likely that he will continue doing. Maybe Stride, maybe Strife, he will continue a little bit. But even then, right, one of them, Strife is a senior, right? It's senior to a Stretch, so he's not going to be tempted in doing that at all either. So anyways, that's kind of my take on this. How are we doing this morning? What's going on? Well, of course, in the macro world, it's really, really bad out there. Of course, oil past $100 now, highest level since 2022. Yes, the 2020s have not been a good decade. It's crazy to think that we've had a huge macro crisis in 2022, and now we have another huge geopolitical macro crisis now, just 3 years later. We can't catch a rest. We can't catch a break, really. But it's clear to me now that Bitcoin is demonstrating some sort of a risk-off behavior. As you can see, Stretch never traded below 100 since the morning today, even though everybody was hopeful for good news over the weekend, which would lead to a de-escalation in the Middle East. There was no such thing. No good news over the weekend. The Nasdaq opened way down, Dow way down. Very bad sentiment in the market, and yet Stretch opens cozily at 100.01 cents, and we are trading above 100 all day long, already having ATM'd probably about 500 Bitcoins right now. We're ATM via Stretch. Purchase of 500 Bitcoin thanks to Stretch, so that's pretty impressive. And we are actually outperforming IBIT. With IBIT up 1.9%, we should be up by 3%. We're not. We're up 4%, more than a double of IBIT. So we are outperforming IBIT. MNAV is still excellent at 122. You're selling $100 for $122. That's why I want the ATM to continue. I hope Sailor continues with the ATM. And Bitcoin is doing well at 69,000. All of the weekend fear seems to have recovered. We're up 5% compared to yesterday, Sunday, where we had a bit of a valley of despair and a drop below 65%. Again, mostly that drop probably attributed to the fact that it's the only thing you can sell on a Sunday. And the sentiment is actually bouncing back. For the crypto market cap for CMC, I'll absolutely take a 22. I'll take it any day. Given how bad the macro is, a 22 for the crypto 300 grid index is a gift. It's a gift. It's doing well. We are back on an uptrend. So Bitcoin definitely, in my view, behaving a little bit like a risk-off asset in these geopolitical tensions right now. So loving MSTR's performance very much, loving Stretch's performance very much, and loving Bitcoin's performance very much. MSTR's journey continues, accelerates, gets better by the day. even though the short-term stock price is, still a little low compared to where it used to be. Over a long run, this stock is still a 6 or 7x. If you go back to the first times I covered it on the channel, we're still up 6 or 7 times since the first time I covered it. So anyways, this was not investment advice. This is not financial advice. This is only entertainment. I'm hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.